right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome, dear friends. It's so great to see a full room here. And thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to be with us this afternoon. Before we dive into the formal part of our proceedings, I'd like to acknowledge that we are currently situated on Treaty 7 lands, inhabited by the Blackfoot people since time immemorial, and other Indigenous nations, including the Stoney Nakoda Nation, the Tsuut'ina Nation, and the Métis people of Alberta, Region 5 and 6. As we settle in, I'd like to bring your attention to the screens as we kick off our short program.
We're not about the fancy galleries or the extravagant concert halls. We're about something deeper, the heart behind every act of creation. The brush meeting the canvas, infinite patterns and colors that have never been seen before. The very first step on a sprung dance floor, a step that carries the weight of courage and the joy of possibility. The memory of childhood transformed into a melody that carries a lifetime of feeling. Each note echoing a story only one person could tell. While so many measure success by tickets sold, for us, it's different. It's the single artist who discovers their voice through creativity, the performer who gains the courage to share their story on stage, the knowledge that their art and their disability, together, proudly define who they are. We are the National Access Arts Center, where art happens.
So to kick us off, I'd like to invite up Gerald Chapure, a longtime supporter of the National Access Arts Center and the chair of our Capital Campaign Committee, to say a few remarks.
It's so good to see so many out this afternoon. As chair of the National Access Arts Center's Capital Campaign Committee, I'm delighted to welcome all of you, and in particular to welcome our special guests, Doctors Peter and Stephanie Chung, and their two sons, Sam and Christian. Thank you very much to all four of you for being with us this afternoon. We have invited you here today for what will be a transformative event, we believe. Many organizations use that word, but this announcement truly will change lives. It will impact hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals in our community who are committed to creating art, no matter their circumstances. It will impact people who have become a beacon of hope for Canada's disability community. When I was first asked to join the campaign, I accepted immediately. The National Access Arts Centre is doing work unlike any other organization. It is giving artists with disabilities not only a voice, but a platform and an opportunity to flourish. Flourish through their hard work and through their creativity. Even while operating out of a damaged facility that has been literally on the verge of collapse since 2018, the organization has grown to be Canada's leading disability arts organization, showing the world what becomes possible when we simply open the door and provide the right supports. As Honorary Consul for Korea, I have often seen firsthand the power of the National Access Arts Center as it has been a cultural ambassador to the nation of Korea. I've been there several times now as they have represented so well Canada in that part of the world. It does not surprise me then that the National Access Arts Center is now a leader within Canada, an organization that is putting Canada I should say, is putting Calgary and all of Canada on the map for all of the right reasons. That is why I'm so proud today to be part of an announcement that recognizes the leadership behind this important initiative. Please join me in thanking President and CEO J.S. Ryu and the entire National Access Art Center team for the resilience and determination that has brought them to where we are today. And now it is my great pleasure to invite JS back to the podium to take us to the next stage.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you very much, Jerry. I want to begin by just acknowledging the incredible diversity that is represented in this room today. We have arts leaders and artists, representatives from Calgary's disability community, those who work for social service agencies, and community and business partners from all walks of life. While indeed I might be a tad bit biased, I'd like to think this is only possible because of the widespread cross-sectoral impact that comes as a result of the programs being delivered at the National Access Arts Centre presented by TD. While some of you would know the NAC as Canada's largest disability arts organization, we're actually so much more than that. It's a gathering place, a creative home for nearly 400 Canadian artists who access our programs weekly, many of whom would describe it as a key that has helped unlock the confidence waiting within, or the launching pad for a career in a sector they never imagined possible. As Jerry mentioned, the NAC has also become a bridge, bringing nations together and showcasing Canada in ways that we never could have imagined even a decade ago. But most importantly, the NAC has become an inspiring storyteller, changing the narrative of what is possible when a community comes together to dream big. And yet, for all of this impact, we've been doing this work in spaces that were never designed for the people we serve. Spaces adapted, spaces borrowed, spaces outgrown almost as soon as they're filled with creativity and ideas and life. For more than 50 years, our artists, with tremendous resiliency and grit, have thrived despite the environment around them. 5 years ago, we imagined a different future for our community, one inspired by world-renowned creative environments such as the BAM Centre or the Aspen Music Festival. More than a place where artists participate, but a vibrant campus where they train, collaborate, and grow. A learning environment designed from the very beginning around accessibility, dignity, and artistic excellence. At the time, no disability arts organization anywhere in the world had attempted something of this scale, and many questioned whether it could be done. But like our artists, whose lives are defined by perseverance, we pressed on. What first felt like a distant vision began to gather momentum when the Government of Canada made an extraordinary investment of $8.2 million to help launch the project, soon joined by the City of Calgary's $4.9 million commitment to restore the historic Scouts building that will soon house our visual arts studios. Then came our dear friend Patrick Chu and Trico Communities, whose generosity now lives on through the Trico Communities Accessible Arts Centre. And soon after, the Government of Alberta strengthened that momentum with a $1 million investment. And last fall, we shared that together, with support from the late Al Austin, the Optimist Clubs of Calgary, and so many other partners, we had reached $18 million towards our $30 million campaign, all raised in under 18 months. Suddenly, what once sounded far-fetched wasn't so far-fetched after all. My dear friends, it is with tremendous pride and gratitude that I share with you our capital campaign is now entering its final stages, thanks to an extraordinary, record-breaking, transformational gift from Vancouver-based philanthropists and business leaders, Drs. Peter and Stephanie Chung, made in memory of their late son, beloved son, Joseph, This gift, the largest ever recorded in the history of the disability arts movement in North America, will help realize our vision of a brand new multidisciplinary performing arts learning venue beside the Trico Community's Accessible Arts Center. And in recognition of this generosity and our shared commitment to honor Joseph's life through creativity, dignity, and inclusion, it is my profound honor to unveil the name of this new home for our artists, the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity. To Peter and Stephanie and your children, Sam, Christian, and Hannah, thank you for trusting us with Joseph's name. I know I speak on behalf of our entire organization, from our artists to our board of directors, that we do not take this responsibility lightly. And we promise that the celebration of Joseph's legacy and of your generous philanthropy will extend beyond that of a sign on our building, but in every program and community interaction that takes place here. I can't wait to welcome you all back to Calgary in 2027 when we cut the ribbon on the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity. Thank you again.
We have few friends who told me about National Art Center, and they told me about the purpose and the vision. And we thought that was very interesting because my late son, passed away, now almost over 13 years ago. And he had autism and also the epilepsy. And so we thought that this would be a very good idea to, be part of this type of project. And I think we all need to show some compassion towards people who are different than we are. And then also, in my case, because of my son, I have an empathy towards people. And that's, for me, that's a God's given gift.
Because I have many opportunities to see the special needs children and even adults. I think when they are born in the earth, God had gave them a purpose and a plan for each other's. Some people as artists, some people has different ability like us, like our son. So as it is, we have to respect. So our society see them as a unique, special person, not the lower or anything like that. As it is, that is a perfect person for them through God's eyes. They have a beautiful heart, and also each person has a beautiful gift. But we have to develop, but not many places we have a center to get improved. So I wish have a more center like this. So everybody has a talent, so they can improve their talent.
Yeah, when they mentioned about the the artists, musicians, and also performers who are different than us with the different abilities, and we thought that that resonates with my experience with my son, and so if you could serve that community, we thought that it would be a very good thing, and also it's a worthwhile for us to be involved. as we, this would have been an excellent opportunity for my son. And but the other children doing it, we look at it like our own children, and that's gonna make us very meaningful and really happy that through my son's, going to heaven, my son going to heaven gave us the opportunity to serve others, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
I want to take this time to personally thank Doctors Peter and Stephanie Chung and the entire Chung family for their extraordinary generosity and support of the National Access Art Center. When completed, the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity will be a shining example of barrier-free, inclusive design, a welcoming facility for artists, content creators, and community members of all diverse abilities, and will also serve as a shining testament to the Chung's generous philanthropy and a way to celebrate the legacy of their beautiful son, Joseph. My dear friends, it is now my great honor to welcome Dr. Peter Chung, Chairman and CEO of Primal Core Ventures, to the podium to say a few words on behalf of the family.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Stephanie and I are deeply humbled to stand before you. It's truly an honor for our family. When I stand here today, I do not stand as a donor. I stand as a father. Our son Joseph loved creativity, drawing, cursive writing, and self-expression. If Joseph were alive today, he would have loved the National Access Arts Center. This is why today is so meaningful to us. When Joseph was born, Stephanie and I committed him to God as our first fruit. We said, Lord, use Joseph as your instrument to spread Christian love. That prayer would take on a meaning we could never have imagined. Through his autism, his epilepsy, and ultimately through losing him far sooner than we expected. Losing a child changes you. It changes how you see life. It changes what truly matters. Although our family is no longer the direct beneficiary, we are honored and humbled to be the catalyst for this building campaign. I have learned this in life. When we die, we take nothing with us, but we can leave behind investment in others who are in need, especially those who need greater support. For us, honoring and remembering our son Joseph means creating opportunities for others. That is what drew us to the NAC. Too often, people with disabilities are asked to adapt themselves to fit into spaces that were never designed for them. They face barriers that should not be there. The center says something different. It says, let us design the space properly from the beginning. Let us remove the barriers. Let us recognize the talent and creativity that always exists, already exists. Their philosophy, artists first, is very powerful. It reminds us that people are not defined by limitations, but by their gifts. Today is not just an announcement, it's the continuation of my son Joseph's story. We are honored to announce North America's first purpose-built performing arts facility dedicated to supporting artists with disabilities, the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity. I'm thankful to God that this will be more than a building. We are grateful to partner with the NAC and thankful for the leadership of the City of Calgary and the province of Alberta and the government of Canada. We also thank the many individual donors who believe in this vision. What we see here today is something beautiful. Artists, families, community, private donors, and public leadership coming together with a one heart representing the great nation of Canada. This is true unity. This is what happens when compassion and vision move in the same direction. Stephanie and I are honored to walk alongside you. May this center serve generations to come. May God bless the artists, the families, all levels of government, and every donor and supporter who made this possible. And if Joseph were here today, sorry, he would have loved this place. Thank you very much.
Is this working? Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter and Stephanie Chung. On behalf of the National Access Arts Center's Board of Directors, I wanted to express our heartfelt gratitude to you and your family for this extraordinary investment in the NAC's capital campaign. As a wheelchair user and as a law professor working in disability law and policy, today's announcement is deeply meaningful to me because it brings life to an ambition our organization has carried for nearly a decade. As my colleague Sean Crump, who is one of the leaders in our accessibility workshops that helped guide this project in the design, he often says, we have designed, and now, thanks to this gift, we will build a facility for 100% of people, not just the quarter of Canadians who identify as having a disability, and not just the 3/4 of the population who currently find spaces built primarily for them, but truly for everyone. And in naming it the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity, Peter and Stephanie, we are honored beyond words to steward a place that carries your son's legacy forward. As chair of the board, I commit that this will always be a place that welcomes every voice, celebrates every ability, and embraces difference in a way that would have made Joseph proud. I would also like to recognize the NAC staff for their stewardship of this journey, especially our president and CEO, J.S. Ryu, whose leadership has brought together partners from across the country to create a cultural landmark that will stand for generations. And with that, it is my great pleasure to welcome the Honorable Lois Mitchell, our 18th Lieutenant Governor of Alberta and the honorary patron of the National Access Arts Centre, to offer some congratulatory remarks.
Thanks so much. Is that okay? Is that all right? Thanks so much, Stephanie. I am truly delighted to be with you all this afternoon and to witness this extraordinary, it is an extraordinary moment for the National Access Arts Center. It makes it very national, very national. As the honorary patron, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, Dr. Peters, your wonderful wife, your children. That's beautiful. For this is a transformative gift. That's all there is to it. That's what it is. A transformative gift, and one that opens a new chapter, not only for this organization, but for Calgary and the disability community across Canada. Through my volunteer work with the National Access Arts Centre and with organizations such as I'm involved with the Canadian Paralympic Foundation, I have always believed that everyone has something to contribute and the potential to make a difference. And it was very heartwarming to hear you speak. I want you to know that. That was a very, very beautiful to hear about Joseph. I have to say that. Yeah, I want you to know that. Here at the NAC, nearly 400 we've heard Canadian artists in Calgary, Toronto, and I'm sure it's going to be Vancouver. Prove that every day through the power, they prove this every day through the power of art. Their practice is not only shaping their own lives, but it's reshaping how we understand disability. We have to understand about disability. That's all there is to it. In that sense, the National Access Arts Centre artists are more than artists. I've got to know them. I've got to love them. I've never had so many wonderful hugs in all my life as I do from them. I have to say that. They are agents of positive change and, as Jerry Shapur noted, remarkable cultural ambassadors for Calgary and for Canada. As a proud Calgarian, I'm especially proud that the Centre calls our city home, yes, and that has inspired leaders like the Chungs to invest in building this vibrant addition to our arts and cultural ecosystem. I look forward to the day that we welcome the world here, the world. That's what it's all about, the world, and can confidently say that Calgary is among the most accessible art cities anywhere in the world. So I also want to congratulate the entire National Access Arts Centre community, the dedicated staff, leadership, and hard-working board. My dear friend, I love Stephanie. I guess I like her dad pretty well as well. But your perseverance has also brought this wonderful vision to life, and countless Canadians are going to benefit from this. Now, I just want you to know one thing. As a past lieutenant governor, it was wonderful. It's the best job in the whole world. If you have any children, you should try and tell them there's nothing like it. Because guess what? You get to speak first. So now, it's not just that you don't want to repeat what other people have said. But then they told me coming in, you've got to introduce the mayor. Okay. So I'm happy to introduce the mayor. I have to say that I was going to actually tell the Chung, I'm actually a Kitsilano High School graduate and then went to UBC. So I have to tell you though, the mayor is a wonderful Bishop Carroll graduate.
Don't hold it against me.
I'm not holding it against you. For sure I'm not. And a wonderful U of C graduate. And I've had the privilege in the last month, we've been together. And you know what? He and I believe the same thing. It's all about teamwork. And I can tell you I've tried to live my life through teamwork. And they said this morning when they talked about me, I'm all about adjustability and adjusting to everything that comes along. And I watched you, Jeremy, and that's what you do. So I'm not going to say any more about you, but I'm going to welcome you up here and tell you that, yeah, we're very proud of you. Okay.
Oh my gosh, JS, I think you're setting me up to have to follow
these remarkable speakers. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. This morning, I was reflecting on the last opportunity I had to be here officially. Of course, during the campaign, I had launched my campaign platform at the National Access Arts Center. But the last time formally, I was here alongside Al Austin, just in that field during the summer months, and it's a great weight and gravity having the experience to mark his legacy, but then also as well now Joseph. So thank you so much, Peter, for the incredible vulnerability that you've shown, and the fact that you've trusted this incredible organization as well as the city of Calgary with this incredible milestone. So it is really wonderful to be here today in a room filled with artists, with community leaders, advocates, partners. All of you understand something very fundamental about Calgary. This is a great city, not measured only by its skyline, but more importantly by who we include. Today we're here to celebrate a truly transformational gift, a gift that brings the National Access Arts Center, or the NAC as we affectionately call it, nearly to the finish line, 75% of the way. In a few short years, the leadership that you've been able to bring to the table, Jess, has been absolutely phenomenal, but we're nearly to the finish line for the development of the NAC's new home. And for that, we owe a tremendous thank you to your family. Stephanie, Peter, thank you so much for the trust that you and your family have extended us as a community here in Calgary with that. So to you and the entire Chung family, thank you for believing in Calgary. Your generosity is not simply a donation. It's not simply monetary. It's a statement of belief, a belief in people like Joseph, a belief in artists, a belief in inclusion, and a belief in our city. And your courage, your generosity is going to help us open the door to be able to bring this project to the finish line. And having your transformational support at this time, stewarded by the incredible leadership of Jerry and others on the capital campaign cabinet, it's truly remarkable what you've all been able to be able to do through this gift and what it represents, because it brings it to life. This gift is going to be able to bring to life, as mentioned, and as is beautifully on the podium in front of me, the new Chung Center for Creativity, a name that will soon be synonymous with possibility. This will be, and this is, a jewel in Calgary's creative and cultural community. It's going to be a new cultural landmark, putting Calgary on the world stage more so than we are already. And more importantly, it's going to stand permanently until the end of time. Joseph will be recognized in Calgary's story permanently. He and your family will be recognized. A reminder that Calgary is a city where everyone has access to the arts, not just as an audience member, but as an artist and a participant themselves. And what we're doing here and what you've done here for our city and for the NAC, it really matters, Stephanie. It really matters for us, and it really matters for the people that these doors are going to open to serve. Because the NAC is not just another arts organization. As Canada's first multidisciplinary disability arts company, NAC has been leading the way. Thanks to your leadership, Stephanie, thanks to the incredible board that you are able to represent. You've been leading the way, providing artistic training, creation, exhibition, and presentation opportunities for artists with developmental, physical, and acquired disabilities. And today, NAC supports more than 300 artists through on-site studio supports and workshops, and reaches an even broader community of Canadian artists with disabilities through immersive online programs. And that's across the world. 300 artists, 300 stories, 300 voices shaping the cultural fabric of our country right here in Calgary. What everyone in this room has been able to do is truly extraordinary. And the new Chung Center for Creativity will ensure that this work not only continues, but expands permanently. So as part of the new NAC campus in West Hillhurst, this will be a safe, welcoming, active, and creative community hub. It will be a place where barriers are broken down, where talent is nurtured, and as mentioned before, where doors are opened. And where creativity here in our city is not defined by limitation, but by imagination. For Calgary, this is so much bigger than bricks and mortar. It cements our city as one that does not just talk about inclusion, but builds it. It reinforces our identity as a place where opportunity is broad, where culture is vibrant, and where every person, every single Calgarian and those other Canadians who come here to practice their trade is celebrated and valued for their gifts and who they are. And I also want to acknowledge something important. Although your family is based in Vancouver, you've chosen also to meaningfully invest right here in Calgary. So through Primacorp Ventures and your institutions, as we were mentioning before, from seniors care facilities to child daycares to post-secondary institutions like CDI College, Reeves College, and the Visual College of Art and Design, you've already demonstrated a commitment to our city's growth and success. So thank you for that. So again, today's announcement really cements and deepens that commitment you've already shown to us. It signals not just your confidence, but everyone's confidence in Calgary's future. And it shows that with leadership like yours, when philanthropic leadership and community vision align, extraordinary things happen right here in Calgary. And I see in the audience, there's quite a few folks I saw at the zoo at the amazing showcase. There's quite a few artists in this room. To all of you, the artists, the center is for you. To the families and the supporters who believe in the power of creative expression, the center is for you. And to the broader Calgary community, the center is for you. It's for all of us. Because when we make space for every voice, when we elevate every artist, when we ensure creativity belongs to everyone, we don't just strengthen the arts, we strengthen our entire city. So to you, Peter, to you, Stephanie, and to the entire Chung family here with us, thank you for helping bring this vision across the finish line. And to the National Access Arts Centre, congratulations. The Chung Centre for Creativity will stand as a lasting symbol of what Calgary can achieve when generosity, courage, and creativity come together. Thank you for allowing me to play a small part in this announcement.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Farkas, for being a part of our event today. It means a lot to us at the NAC to have your support, especially JS. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Ree Parsons. I am the manager for performing arts at the NAC, and I am joined with someone really special today.
Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Morrison and I am an artist and a dancer at the National Access Arts Center.
So Alicia is here today as a representative of our artist community to really give you all a clear picture of the impact of this gift from the Chung family. So Alicia, as someone who's very involved in all things at the NAC, what is some of the work that you've done that's made you really proud of who you are as an artist?
I'm an artist in visual arts and performing arts. I worked with a lot of things. I worked with fabric, music, film, dance, and teach. It's fun to try new things. And I flourished as a dancer and as a proud member of the dance ensemble. And we have premiered 2 new productions, toured across Canada and around the world. Having a disability is my superpower, and I love to spin. And yes, I never get dizzy. It was a big choreography for Iconic Plus, a performance we did last year.
So yeah, super incredible. If you came to see the show in September, Iconic Plus was one of the 10 works selected to be funded by the National Creation Fund, which I think truly says something about this work and the impact of our artists and what they make and what they do. So we currently face a lot of logistical challenges in the performing arts due to our current space, the space that's falling apart. Things like finding venues for classes and rehearsals and dealing with time limits and external schedules. Even something as what seems as simple as getting to the space itself can be a tricky situation for some of our artists. So obviously, this says a lot about what this will mean to us, but Alicia, I think you can say it best. What will it mean for you as someone who's an artist and as part of the NAC community to have this new building, the Chung Center, and are you excited?
Yes, I am so lobsters excited. Thanks to many funders, including the Chung family, my friends and artists will have a worthy home. This building is designed for our community. It'll have things like a sensory-friendly room, a barrier-free studio space, dressing rooms, accessible lighting and audio spaces, and a proper recording studio. All these spaces will help us learn and grow as artists and create new works. And now, on behalf of the entire NAC community of over 400 artists, we'd like to thank you, Peter and Stephanie, and your family for your support. And now, I am so excited to welcome you all to the Chung Center in 2027.
You hear that, Mayor Farkas? That's 400, not 300, right? Thank you, Alicia, for sharing how impactful this project will be for our community and for our artists. And it's my pleasure to now welcome Michelle Mubaraz to the podium, District Vice President of Calgary Northwest for TD Bank Group, to say a few words on behalf of the NAC's presenting sponsor. Michelle.
Thank you very much. It is truly a privilege to be here today. I was talking to Stephanie just very briefly before we started. She's like, look at how many people are here. Look at how this has grown. And I have to tell you, like, I feel a little bit of vibration because it is very, very exciting. It is amazing to be here along with so many partners, artists, community leaders, and champions of inclusion for this important milestone. I want to thank the National Access Arts Centre that I have had the true privilege to get to know over the last few years. Its leadership, its board, the community for inviting us to be part of this. I also want to acknowledge those individuals whose vision, dedication, and generosity have led to this moment, which will leave a lasting legacy on Calgary and the bright future for the disability arts organization across Canada. At TD, we believe very strongly that stronger communities evolve when everyone can participate, thrive, and be heard. That is the belief of the heart with the involvement with the National Access Arts Centre. And as the centre's largest private sector donor, TD is proud to sponsor an organization that is truly redefining what inclusion in the arts can look like, and not only as an aspiration, but truly bringing it to reality. In December of 2025, we announced $1.5 million additional investment in the National Access Arts Centre, which represents the single corporate investment, the largest single corporate donation ever made in Canada to advance the disability arts. This commitment reflects our confidence in the centre's national mandate, its leadership, and its ability to create that meaningful and lasting change. It also mirrors our shared belief that access to arts is not an option, it's truly essential. We are thrilled and honored to celebrate this transformational philanthropic gift from Dr. Peter and Stephanie Chung, a contribution that significantly advances the Centre's capital campaign and fuels this project beyond a critical funding milestone. I heard in your video, you said, people are not to be viewed as a lower person. And on the weekend, I was actually, my children are ring-out players, and I was talking to a parent from South Calgary, and she said, oh, well, we used to be at the Fairview Arena, but it collapsed. And I said, oh, it actually hasn't collapsed. The National Access Arts Centre is there. And so it's very interesting to me that we're here today celebrating the donation that you've made to make sure that people are not viewed as lower people on there. So thank you so much for that. The fact that this is the memory of your son, Joseph, reflects a deep and personal commitment to advancing health, disability, and inclusion, and allowing for his legacy to just live on. We're very, very fortunate to partner with you with that. When completed, this campus will be the world's first accessible arts learning campus, a true national landmark that will influence how art institutions think about access, equity, and creative leadership for generations to come. In closing, I want to congratulate again JS, the Chung family, and everyone who's contributed to this extraordinary achievement. We are truly honored at TD to support this journey, and we remain committed to helping build a more inclusive future for everyone. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this historic moment, and we look forward to the limitless opportunities ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and to you, Blake, as well, for being a part of our announcement today. We could not have made it this far without the support and the partnership of TD Bank, and we look forward to showcasing this partnership for many, many more years to come. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome up Rob Claiborne and Jody James from Dialogue. I can't see that. Oh, there they are. But before that, I would just like to thank the entire Dialogue team. I think you guys call yourself Dialoguers, right? The entire Dialoguer crew, especially Vanessa. I'm not sure if she's around, but just thank you for letting us crash your place and coordinating this incredible announcement right here in your beautiful offices. So if you could all join me in thanking the kind folks at Dialogue for making this happen. As you might be able to gather, for us at the NAC, Dialogue is much more than an architectural firm. For the past 8 years, they've been allies, co-conspirators, and true partners in helping us navigate this long road of designing and developing our new home. Before we close, I'd like to invite Rob and Jody to give us a quick run through of the Chung Center and what we can all look forward to in 2027.
Thank you, JS. I would like to welcome everybody to our office here in the Office of Dialogue, and we've been here for many, many years. My name is Rob Claiborne. I'm a partner here at Dialogue, and I'm also the creative director of this project. I'll speak a little bit about the architecture, and then I want Jody to also contribute to this conversation. For me, architecture exists as this glorious luxury of faith in humanity. In many ways, it's our most conspicuous example of our physical world. But I've learned over the years that sometimes the most important part of our physical world is the metaphysical, the meaning that together we can bring to a project. So I think about meaning. I also think about the words of Paul Valéry, the great French poet and essayist, who says, yes, that the wonder that is the essence of art begins with movement. This architecture is an exploration of movement of the body in space, and along with the moon and the stars, it becomes a spatial dance with gestures and movements, folding and unfolding. The architecture is the medium, a canvas, if you will, that is shaped by the presence of the body. This project grows out of the idea of the body and how the body moves in space. That was our goal. And with that, I want to introduce my dear colleague and collaborator and our design lead, Jody James.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everyone. As we've already heard today, the Joseph Chung Center for Creativity is a place where action, transition, and exploration will be celebrated. From Brownsea Drive, an oculus, this round opening in the roof, traces and frames the movement of the sun across the plaza, a natural spotlight, while a generous and distinctive cantilever will reach out to the street. The project is a building and a landscape that slowly unveils itself through the seasons, throughout the day, and as one moves within and past the site, time and time again. That same cantilever defines and protects an outdoor public space nearly identical in scale and significance to its indoor counterpart. The Wan and Hun Chu Li Plaza is where landscape, building, and art are fully entangled. Wide, continuous pathways, clear sight lines, and flexible seating support places for contemplation, for gathering, for performance, while these soft, landscaped mounds that undulate in height, home to bosks of trees, pigment flowers, and fields of prairie grasses, rise up to meet the visitor, versus requiring the visitor to meet the ground. This is a fundamental shift in thinking that permeates the project. As we approach the entry, automatic sliding doors clear the way. The stairs, the elevator are immediately visible upon entry, and a welcome desk and cafe kiosk provide a landing spot for both staff and visitors alike. The general organization of the building on the interior is intended to be simple, to be clear, and is duplicated on both floors, a key wayfinding element, with the Inspiration Studio, that circle, as the heart of the building. All the program required for the day-to-day operations are found on level 1, with key spaces like that Inspiration Studio, the cafe, and a community meeting room. As you enter the Chung Center, artists and visitors are greeted with an open and welcoming space. Centered on that access point, a prominent surface displays the building's name and key directional signage. As you turn to the right, we're met with the Cafe Kiosk. This is a key community unifier in partnership with an organization that will prioritize employing and empowering adults living with disabilities. Again, at the Chung Center, all front of house and back of house spaces, including that cafe, are fully accessible. Let's move towards the cafe in the west end of from the cafe towards the west end of the building. You see the expansive windows adjacent to the kiosk facing the plaza. We pass the community meeting room on the right and approach the Austin Victor Inspiration Studio. This really is the jewel of the building. A double-height rehearsal space for dance, for music, for film and theater rises through both floors of the building. And like the inside of an instrument, the interior space is wrapped in acoustically tuned wood panels that gently taper in, elongating the space. Controls room and mezzanine viewing areas look into it from level 2. That rehearsal space contains a 900 square foot sprung floor with soft corners rather than hard edges. Its perimeter walls have storage and seating coves, places to rest and observe out of the path of travel. And at the drop of a hat, that same space can shift into performance mode, a true test kitchen for the performing arts. Now, we've spoken to some of the more active spaces on level 1, but a gradient of space types in terms of scale, acoustic impact, lighting, and materials allow individuals, including those with neurodiverse needs, to engage fully, peripherally, or entirely remove themselves from more active spaces in the building. For example, we have breakout areas around the theater body, a wellness room which doubles as a green room, as a private, low stimulation environment, and the dressing room, a space for artists to prepare. And that idea of sensory reprieve even applies to how we've thought about the restrooms. It's reimagined as a sequence of spaces, accounting for gradations in privacy and support. From this rest zone outboard, one moves hands-free into the refresh zone, and then finally on into the gender-inclusive private washrooms. In spaces like washrooms that are often celebrated as functional when they're at their best, the team is deliberately turned towards something with a little bit more levity, a little bit more delight. Why can't a grab bar be both accessible and artful? Let's pop upstairs. As we move towards the central circulation, you see both the elevator and stair immediately adjacent to one another, again, supporting principles of accessible design. One of the lessons from the Accessibility Roundtable our team has been privileged to work with was to design parallel but equitable experiences for vertical transportation. By designing a stair that appeals to the users it's available to, it takes pressure off the elevator that others rely on. This bright railing, in terms of contrast and color, is an invitation to engage. And as we access level 2, we see that Oculus, this time from a different perspective. Level 2's program is a little bit more specialty in nature, a dedicated gallery for exhibition and sharing and special events, as well as that sound, audio, and tech lab. Let's start with the main gallery. Here we've turned away from a stark, character-free space, but instead celebrate the warmth and texture of wood. Adjacent to the main gallery space on level 2 is the Black Box Gallery, a much more independent and intimate space for shows and film screenings. And as we move from that gallery towards the studio, again, we'll pass by the stairs, the Oculus window, the Black Box Gallery, and we'll eventually find ourselves landing at the mezzanine viewing area. This is an opportunity for expanded seating, perhaps more of a relaxed audience experience, and can be closed off entirely from view, should it suit the artists practicing below. Now last, but certainly not least, tucked right behind that studio volume is the dedicated sound, audio, and tech lab. This is a technically tuned space for audio production and experimentation with a recording booth, as Alicia mentioned, workstations, instrument storage, and more. It expands the thinking from providing just a control booth to a controls room This accounts for space for artists, for instructors, for their support workers, and more as required. All of what we've shared today is within a building and a landscape that's held to the highest standards of sustainable design. This is an approach that's energy efficient, it's low carbon, and it's designed to run on clean energy. Our certification target is net zero carbon. And so we bring our movement through the design vision to a close. Together with the NAC, our team has imagined an approach that builds on the legacy of a site that's been home to 2 significant community-forward organizations for nearly 50 years. As a composition of 2 buildings and their surrounding landscapes, the new National Access Arts Center campus serves not just the disability community, and not just the art community, and not just the community of West Hillhurst, but rather it does represent a precedent-setting movement that embraces the intersectional and inclusive power of all of those voices in concert, a true ensemble in motion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Rob and Jody. It's going to be an exciting time when we open in 2027. This brings our formal program to a close. On behalf of all of us at the NAC, thank you to all of our guests for joining us. I actually forgot, and Joe, don't hold this against me. We actually have MLA Joe CC from Calgary, Buffalo. Who's been a longtime advocate and supporter of the arts and a supporter of the NAC. We're also looking forward to having you at our gala next week, but I just wanted to acknowledge Joe CC's presence here today. Thank you very much for being with us. With that, I believe we have refreshments and drinks. Please enjoy. There's different renderings and models for you to browse through, and I believe members of the media are keen to speak with members of the Chung family as well. So we'll all disperse, but this is the end of our program. Thank you very much for celebrating this moment with us.